Welcome to Grace Today, a daily vlog designed to encourage you and equip you with the Word of God. Let's begin. Welcome everyone to a new edition of Grace Today. I thought we'd try something new. As we talked about, or we always talk about in the intro to these, this vlog series is designed to help encourage you and equip you in the Word of God. And I wanted to do something a little different with this series and see how it works. And that is to take the things that we're learning on Sunday mornings through the main sermon series and talk about them here in more of a devotional style and really get into practical application. So in the preaching of a text, there's only so much you can give to practical application because of time constraints and because you just can't hit on everyone in the audience at the same time. And so I wanted to kind of try to use these videos to review some points of the sermons and to help us think about how we can practically apply them in our lives, how they can drive us to worship throughout the week, not just on Sunday mornings. And so we're going to start that with the book of Colossians and see how it goes. Feel free to leave us a comment and let us know what you think of this idea or how we can improve it. We'd really love this to be a resource for us as a church. So we'd start today by looking at what we looked at yesterday in church, and that is the introduction to the book of Colossians. Now, obviously, we have a greeting given at the beginning, that its main function is that of a greeting, but it does identify those who are writing, those who are receiving, and then it gives a blessing. And so there's much to learn from these things. And I think first and foremost, there's much for us to just simply meditate on. And that's what we want to help you do through these series. And so yesterday we talked a good bit about the Apostle Paul and how he was transformed really in his life, and really shows us that Christ saves the worst of these. Christ saves the worst kind of people. And we see this in Paul's life in the fact that he was guilty of both overt outward sins. He was a persecutor of the church. He was one who was going after the church, breathing threats of murder, as the book of Acts says. But he was also guilty of so-called respectable sins, those sins that we may not see as open and egregious as others, but are still sins nonetheless. He was a very prideful man. He took pride in his education and in his lifestyle and his upbringing and what political faction he was a part of and all those things. And yet Christ still saves him. In fact, Paul would go on to say, Christ saves the worst of sinners, of which I am the chief. And so we see through the Apostle Paul, and specifically through his conversion, that Christ saves the worst of sinners. So let me encourage you, as you think upon this, take some time to reflect on the grace that God has shown you, both for your outward sins, those things that you've done that people know about and that people see, and for your inward sins, kind of more sins of the heart, your pride, your arrogance, your reliance on yourself and those things. Not think back on those in a sense of, oh man, let me beat myself up over those things, but to see that God has shown you much grace, that the gospel that covers those sins is of exceeding abundant, amazing grace. And then spend some time today simply worshiping the Lord for the fact that he saves the worst of sinners. I pray this is an encouragement to you today as you continue to reflect on the glorious truths we're learning in the book of Colossians. I love you, Grace Community. I'm praying for you. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in to the Grace Today vlog. For more information on Grace Community Baptist Church in Elgin, Texas, or how you can support this ministry, check out the links in the description below. See you tomorrow.